day 16 of the New You for the New Year Success Challenge. Dr. Herbert Harris here. Welcome to the New You for the New Year 21-day challenge. I challenge you to use the New You for the New Year Success Bundle this first month of the year to set yourself up for health, wealth, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money throughout the year. Get the New You for the New Year Success Bundle now at www.herbertharris.info. That's www.herbertharris.info. Every day for 21 days, I will share a success training to help you start this year strong. Watch the daily trainings on Facebook at Life Vision TV and DR Success Man. And now, the success training for today. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and this is Success Mentorship Class number 235. Wow. Thank you for joining us on Facebook. Thank you for joining us on Instagram. We clear our screen up a little bit. Great. Okay. Today's topic is how to make good decisions. And of course, it's based on our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. And those of you who do not have one, be sure to get one. Those of you who have one, get another one. It's available on our website, herbertharris.com. Also, we're referencing today our home study course. A major part of your success journey is doing what you need to do to learn what you need to learn to get where you want to go. And the home study course is a hands-on, step-by-step course and workbook to help you to get from where you are to where you want to be. You can work it on your own time in your own space. Once again, that's on our website, herbertharris.com. And finally, our new book, we're working on the new book. And those of you who may want to tell your story of overcoming great obstacles, please let me know by emailing me at herbert@herbertharris.com. You may have a story that needs to be heard. So now let's go on with our topic today. How to make great decisions is a critical topic because everything we do is based on the decisions we make. This morning, this topic, this idea of making good decisions is critical. Of all the classes we have ever taught, this is one of the most critical, one of the most important. And the reason is that everything is a decision. Everything we do is a choice. To get up this morning to be on this program is a choice. You made a decision to get up. Everything that you do in life is a choice. And every choice you make has consequences. And so therefore, when we are on our success journey, it is critical that the choices we make, the decisions we make, are the ones that will take us where we want to go. You see, a decision is always made. There's no such thing as not making a decision. You either make a decision affirmatively or you make it passively. When you make a decision affirmatively, you decide the outcome that you want and go for it. When you make a decision passively, you decide to do nothing. And then the world mind will bring you the outcome. You'll get the outcome that the world desires. I have a quote that I love from Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins says, your life changes the moment you make a new, congruent, and committed decision. Your life changes the moment you make a new, congruent, and committed decision. And I don't know if it gets any simpler than that, folks. The decisions you make and the actions you take determine everything that happens in your life. I always speak of a story of the young lady who was a great advocate for success, one who was seeking to be, to do, to have all the things that she had read about and had seen in movies and magazines. And she had a chance to meet a very, very wealthy lady, an older lady who had stood the test of time and created a fantastic company. And she asked the older lady, she said, "What is the secret to success?" And then she sort of put a little tail on it. She says, "I don't want a long story. I mean, it got to be simple." The older lady said, "Yes, it is simple. The secret to success is right decisions." And the young lady then says, "Well, how do you learn to make right decisions?" The older lady said, "Experience." The young lady then says, "Well, how do you get experience?" And the lady said, "Wrong decisions." And so this process, this journey process of becoming the person you want to be, doing the things you want to do, having the things you want to have, is based on the decisions you make. We may go a little longer today because this is of all the classes we've taught, this decision process is so critical to your success. And I love to look at a spiritual basis. And this is not religion. What there are spiritual principles that exist in all religions, like physical principles, like gravity is a principle. Gravity exists wherever you are. Spiritual principles exist regardless of what your religious affiliation may be. And you think about it in the allegory of the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve are instructed not to eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And that's really the tree of choice. And the story goes on, it says that if you eat of the tree of knowledge, you will be as gods. In other words, using the power of decision, the power of choice, you have the ability to create a world exactly the way you want it to be. You're your own God in a sense. And so these decisions now can lead you from where you are to where you want to be. I love to look at the idea of the definition of a decision. And it is said that a decision, this is so complex, it sounds so cold. A decision is the cognitive, so awareness, the cognitive process resulting in the selection of a belief or course of action among several alternative possibilities. So a decision is taking different possibilities and choosing one and then acting on it. A decision is a choice, and a decision is the way that we move forth in our lives. If we are on the river of life, every decision is how we change the trajectory of our ship. It may be a decision to hoist the sails so that you can take advantage of the winds. Your sails represent your attitude. It may be a decision to dig deep. The engine on a ship, on the ship of your life, is your desire. So that decision may be to dig deep, to be like David fighting Goliath, to say, I know it looks impossible, but I know I can do it. That decision may be to get rid of the crew. So with this crew, you'll never get where you want to go. That decision may be to stick to your moral judgments, your rudder. And so whatever happens in life is consistent with the decisions we make. So what are the 4 steps to decision making? Good decision making. Step 1, decide what you want. Most people can't make a decision because they don't know what they want. There can be so many options available that we can't pick one. And so this idea of deciding exactly what you want is critical, and be specific about it. Do you want more happiness? Okay, well, what does that mean? Break it down. Do you want more money? What does that mean? Break it down. Once you decide what you want, then step 2 is define it. Define that which you're seeking in microscopic details. In other words, write down how it looks, how it feels, how it smells. You see, the more sensory identification you can put with the things you want to be, do, and have, the greater your level of vibration, and thus the greater your possibility of achieving it. See, once you're clear about what you want and you write it down in detail, you'll learn a lot about it. You'll learn what it is and what it is not. Sometimes we may want things based on external influences. If you notice, all of a sudden, all the men have beards. Did they all wake up one morning and say, I need to have a beard? No. There's external influence. There's this seeing, monkey see, monkey do type thing, that when you see other people with beards or with tattoos or with whatever the things are, that there's this process of emulation. And so when you want to decide what you want in life, you must be clear what it is and what it is not. Number three, you have to believe in the answer, believe in the outcome. So whatever you decide to do, you decide to do it, you define what it is clearly, especially in your feeling nature, and then you have to believe in the outcome. Believe in the worthiness you have. Believe in your skill level. Believe in the process. Because once you believe in it, then it's going to happen. You know that scripture that says, if you tell this mountain to be cast into the sea and doubt not, it's going to happen. And so whatever you believe in with intensity will manifest. Now, the time of manifestation may vary based on your level of intensity, the depth of your desire, but the process works. If you incorporate doubt, you destroy the process. So when you make a decision to do something, and then if you doubt your ability to do it, you're lost. If you make a decision to do something and then you doubt your worthiness of the outcome, you're lost. And so this idea of belief is critical. It's core belief that creates that vibration inside that attracts that which you're seeking into your life. The fourth key, trust the process. In a very simplistic fashion, don't ask how. Having a child is a process. We know what we must do to create a child, but the process of actually creating that child is far beyond us. We do our part, and the universe, God, the consciousness, takes care of the other part. So once you decide something you want to do, and you decide that you're going to do it, you define what it is, you believe in your ability to get it done, then you just do the work. Take action and don't worry about the how. Seems very simple, doesn't it? Sometimes you got to ask yourself, if it's that simple, why is not everybody successful? Even on a personal level, I guarantee that you've decided to do something. You've described what it is. You believed in your ability to do it. And you've taken action, and yet the results have not come. If you know what I'm saying, write a little comment and say, yep, I understand. The results have not come. And so, well, why is that? And the reason is that our decisions have a process for manifestation. So once we understand the making of the decision, there's a process by which it manifests. And the process for manifestation is that your decision manifests in accord with four things. In accord with your thoughts, in accord with your emotions, in accord with your habits, and in accord with your relationships. Of the four, the most profound is your emotions, how you feel about yourself. You see, your emotions, the feeling nature compels the universe to confirm the feeling through manifestation. This is the essence of the story. We know the biblical story, Jacob and Esau. And the spiritual lesson is feeling gets the blessing. And just quickly, Esau was the firstborn of Jacob. And under the law, the firstborn gets all the power, gets the blessings. And Jacob was the younger son. He wanted the blessing. The father, Isaac, was blind. And so Jacob wanted to take Esau's blessing. And the way that he did it was he made himself feel like his brother. And the symbolic meaning there is the universe, the consciousness, the creative consciousness operates based on feeling, not necessarily facts. And so in the story, when Jacob prepared the soup that Isaac loved, the taste, the sensation, when he put the skins on his arm, you see, Esau was hairy and Jacob was not. He put skins on his arm, animal skins, so that when Isaac felt his arms, he felt like his brother. So not the extended story, but the idea is whatever you feel determines what comes to you. And so when you make decisions, your feelings must be congruent with the decisions you make. See, feelings can trump facts. People may decide, decision, I want to have a good relationship. Good decision. Fact, I am in a relationship that is not healthy. The person treats me badly, maybe even abuses me. It's a fact. But the feeling says, I don't want to be alone. I want to be loved. And so the feeling is such that many times people will stay in that relationship because they don't want to be loved. They don't want to be alone. They want to be loved. And so they ignore the fact of the negativity of the relationship. So this idea of manifesting your decisions is critical, how you feel about that which you want. How you feel about yourself. You know, you can make a decision to be an entrepreneur. Many times, many of us, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a network marketer. I've been in network marketing. I retired from my law profession through network marketing. And one of the things I've found is a person may have a thought that they want to do something. They made a decision. They want to be a successful entrepreneur. But then that requires that you do presentations, that you sell something. And the fear of rejection may be so strong that it overrides their desire to become wealthy. They'll talk to 2 or 3 people and they say, oh no, nobody's interested. The fear of ridicule. You know, there are many people that have a great message that they could share with the world, but they may have a fear of going on that stage. And that can undermine you. And so when we manifest our decisions, these 4 keys, these 4 tools by which our decisions manifest are powerful, but most of all is the feeling nature. The first law of success says a mind shall have whatsoever it thinks in its heart. And so it says that your life manifests in accordance with your feelings. How deep is your desire? How badly do you want it? In addition now, working on your feelings so that you manifest the decisions that you make, the feelings must be, the feelings are tied in with faith. See, faith and feeling have a strong relationship. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So when we look at the 4 things, your thoughts, the thoughts may say, this is not possible. Your habits may say, this is not possible. The people around you may say, this is not possible. But if your belief centered on faith is strong enough, it can manifest. So these decisions that we make depend on our feelings. And it's important that we feel good about ourselves or good about the process. It depends on our thoughts. That if we're not getting the results in our lives, we need to examine our thoughts. We may have negative thoughts. We may have thoughts of lack, thoughts of limitation. And these are undermining our decisions. We may have bad habits. You know, people can lay out the thoughts. I want to create wealth. I want to create joy. I want to create abundance. They can feel good about it. They can see themselves accomplishing it. And then they can be disorganized in their application. They can be procrastinators. So with all the knowledge that they have, with all the techniques that they have, they never get started. The wrong people can undermine your decisions. You see, congruence means that everything is aligned with that you want, that your thoughts are aligned with the desired outcome, that your feelings are aligned with the desired outcome, that your habits are aligned with the desired outcome, and that the people, your relationships, are aligned with the desired outcome. So that means if you're attempting to manifest something that you made a decision about, and you're surrounded by people who don't believe in you, by people who undermine you, by people who don't uplift you, just that relationship can be enough to undermine your decision and help you get wrong results. So once we get this congruence of where our thoughts are congruent with that which we're seeking, where our feelings are congruent with that which we're seeking, where our habits are congruent with that which we're seeking, and where our relationships are congruent with that which we're seeking, then we can really follow the 9 steps to create good decisions. Number 1, write it down. You see, the key to making a good decision is to understand what it is and what it is not. Once you write it down, you can be very detailed now to know exactly what you're going for. Example, a person says, I want to be financially secure. Well, what does that mean? It's different for every person. So one person, it may mean $100,000. For another, it may mean $1 million. For a third, it may mean a business that consistently produces a certain amount each month. So once you write it down, then you can now crystallize your feelings and your understanding of it, so that what you have decided now, you can describe. We're back to that second level of decision making. You can describe it in great detail. Once you write it down, you know what it is, you know what it is not. Step 2, analyze your decision. When you analyze your decision, look at all of the possible alternatives. The whole idea of making a decision is that you have many alternate choices. There are many different things that you can do that may take you where you want to go. And so evaluate each one of the choices, look at them, make a list of the things, the alternate choices. Example, you want to start a business. Something simple like paying your light bill. You decide, I got to pay my light bill. Write it down, okay? Analyze the decision. What happens? Well, if I don't pay my light bill, my lights go off. If I don't pay my light bill, my food is destroyed. If I don't pay my light bill, I can't do the work I need to do. I'll have to go live with somebody else, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The idea is once you analyze your decision, then you go to step 3, to list all alternative solutions. I tell you folks, from personal experience, this is critical, because this whole process, these steps to manifest your decisions, to make good decisions, when you go through this process, you'll find that your decision is refined and clarified, so that by the time you complete these steps, you are truly in a power position to get it done. So you write it down, you analyze the decision, you list all the alternative solutions. Pay careful attention to the ones that are emotionally grounded. Once again, of the 4 processes for manifesting decisions, emotions are most profound. When we look at the alternative decisions, there's some that may be emotion driven, where your need is driving you rather than your possibilities. A fellow had a camper. Fellow was a contractor, and he had this camper. And this camper was worth maybe $30,000 or $40,000. It was used, but it was one of those you can drive it, and had a bedroom and a kitchen and a little dining area. But he was so driven by need, he needed $4,000 to pay his mortgage. Not dealing with how he got there. But his need outshined the possibilities for that camper. Looking at the way they are, if you really analyze all the particular solutions to his dilemma, he could say, well, I own a camper that's worth $30,000. And the way campers are becoming more and more popular now, it'll probably be worth $50,000 or $60,000 in 2 or 3 years. And so let me look at it from that point of view, rather than from the point of view of need. So those of you who are watching, how many decisions are you making based on your need, your immediate need at the moment? So you know what he did? He sold the camper for $4,000. Number 4, evaluate all possible outcomes. This is very interesting because many times subtle things like little habits, when you start in this decision process, many outcomes are dependent on some of your habits, some of the things you do. Many years ago, we had a credit line, and credit line says 30-day net. And then when they say 30-day net, they mean 30-day net. They don't mean 45-day net. And at the time, I was very young, and I sent the payment in. My mindset said, all you want to do is get paid. But that wasn't the mindset that they were operating by. So even though I paid them in 45 days, they reduced the credit line. And so when you evaluate all of the possible outcomes now, it gives you a true metric of how to implement your solution, how to implement your decision. It now gives you the ability to look at the different decisions and say, okay, different choices, and say, okay, this is why I must do this one. Number 5, determine if the outcome you are seeking is a selfish one. We live in a harmonic universe. We're always interacting with people. And so if you make a decision that hurts somebody else, on a spiritual level, you created karma, negative karma. You also created a bad relationship. You violated one of the spiritual laws, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And so this thought of a selfish outcome gives you a metric now to say, hey, I can't do this. Some decisions may go against your moral fiber, the rudder that guides the ship that is your life. There's some decisions that go against that moral fiber. I don't care what it is. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to steal. I'm not going to bear false witness. The whole idea is your moral compass now will determine what you will and will not do. So if you have an outcome based on a decision that hurts other people, that's a cause for pause, back up. Because if your decision hurts other people over time, it's going to be a bad one. Someone once told me the story of, they said that Moses was walking along with God one day, and they saw a man on the side of the road who was wounded and bleeding. And God walked over, took the man's sword, killed him. Moses was a bit surprised. I wonder why he did that. And they walk along a little further talking, and next they see this couple running away from a band of people who were obviously trying to kill them, and they were trying to get to their ship that was sitting there in the harbor to escape with their lives. And God put a hole in the ship sank. The couple were captured and killed. So Moses said, wow, what are you doing, God? What is this? I mean, you just killed a man, you get that. God said, you can only see now. I can see all time. That man by the side of the road, if he had lived, he would have gone on to lead a terrible people and killed thousands of people. So it was necessary to do that. That couple, if they had lived on their ship, they had blankets and stuff that had diseases, and they would have gone to other countries and killed hundreds of thousands of people, brought diseases to people who had not known them before. So this idea of your decision not being a selfish one often means that you have to see beyond the present, see beyond your immediate desires to see the bigger picture. If a decision only benefits you, check it out. It may not be a good one. The decision to be greedy. You know, I often look at the systems that we live in and we look at prosperity. You know, it's funny, there's a big difference between greed and happiness. You know, people who want to be happy, they'll achieve a certain level of material level of satisfaction and they're happy. You know, their home is paid for, their children are in school, everybody going, and they have a tendency to just bask in the happiness. But a person who's driven by greed is never happy. And they always will do whatever is necessary to satisfy that hunger. So be sure that any decision you make is not a selfish one. Number 6, picture the consequences. And this is basically a lot of retelling of the allegory of God and Moses, that when you picture the consequences of your decision, look about how it impacts other people, how it impacts the world, how it impacts you. Once you picture the consequences, then now you can validate that this is a good decision because now you can see where it leads. You can see the ultimate outcome. Sometimes when you see the big picture, you know, like when God and Moses were talking, the big picture, when you see the big picture, a decision may be a good decision for this moment. But when you look at the bigger picture, it's not a good decision for that big picture. We live in a neighborhood where the property values are constantly rising. Houses that were 100,000 2 years ago are now 250,000. And so a person who made a decision to sell 2 or 3 years ago can be very disappointed. I'm like, man, I didn't see the big picture. If I'd really seen the big picture, I'd seen this is a very desirable neighborhood. There's a trend now that people are moving back here. When you see the big picture, it really gives you an understanding. So in making your decisions, picture the consequences and then act accordingly. Step 7, get advice. Of all the steps, this is probably the one that's the hardest to find, the hardest to follow. Because so often we don't want to get advice because of our ego. Many times you may not want people to know who you are. You know, there was a counseling service and they were saying that so many people who needed counseling would not come. So why? Because people did not want people to know their true condition, their true financial condition. So get advice from somebody who's been there. Get advice from a coach who's played the game. Get advice from a pilot who's flown and crashed and burned and flown again. I have a good rule of thumb. It says, get advice from people that you would change places with. And this is very critical because when you get advice from somebody you change places with, somebody you respect, somebody you would like to be like, it has a greater impact and it helps you understand it better. Number 8, stick to your decision. We say, believe in the process. Don't be like the farmer who plants corn. Corn takes roughly 60 to 90 days to mature, and every week he digs the corn up to see how it's doing. Once you make a decision, stick to it. You'll find there will be bumps in the road. But as you travel down the highway of life, those bumps are there to teach you how to drive a little better. There may be obstacles, but that's okay. Every obstacle has a purpose to make you better, to make you stronger, to make you faster. There may be disappointments, but every disappointment is to test your resolve, to see how badly you want it. And so look at everything in life. Every decision you make is either a victory or a lesson. When you focus on the lesson, you will encourage more victories. Each experience we have is for a purpose. That's a good mindset when we make decisions. Every decision we have is for a purpose. Every experience we have is for a purpose. So always ask, what is the good lesson to get from this situation? And then finally, number 9, stick to your decision and put it into action immediately. Everything we talk about, if you don't act on it, doesn't have any meaning. And so this idea of making right decisions, that after all is said and done, you must act on it. Whatsoever your hand findeth to do do it with all your might. You must do it with diligence. You must do it with persistence. You must do it with commitment. And so to wrap up today, this idea of decisions, we've taken a little extra time because it's very important that wherever you go in life is a result of the decisions you make, the choices you make, and the actions you take. If you use these decisions now to move you closer to your goals, to the person you want to be, doing the things you want to do, having the things you want to have, then you'll achieve a level of success, a level of joy that you've been searching for all of your life. When you can do these things, then you can be what you want to be. You can do what you want to do. You can have whatever you want to have. When you can write your decision down, when you can analyze it, when you can list all the alternative solutions, when you can evaluate the possible outcomes, when you can determine whether an outcome is selfish, when you can picture the consequences, when you can get advice, when you can hang in there and take action on a daily basis, from moment to moment, asking yourself always the time question: what is the best use of my time right now in light of the decisions I make and the actions I take to achieve my goals, to realize my vision, and to live my purpose? And so it is. Take a deep breath. Thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate it. Those of you on Instagram, those of you on Facebook, share this with at least 2 or 3 other people and make some comments and make this commitment today to make good decisions to change your life. We'll be here again next week, 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. Once again, remember this: the best is yet to come. And so it is. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, author of the 12 Universal Laws of Success, inviting you to join me on a personal success journey. This journey is sponsored by the New You for the New Year Success Bundle. This is a special bundle of over $250 in digital products to help you achieve outrageous success this year. It includes the 12 Universal Laws of Success ebook, and that's the electronic version of the 12 Universal Laws of Success. It includes the 12 Universal Laws of Success audiobook, over 6 hours of recorded information. It's the book on tape. You can listen to it in your car, in your bed, wherever you are. It also includes the complete New You for the New Year Home Study Guide. Now, this is a transformational home study course to help you go from where you are to where you want to be. It comes with a study guide and a workbook and a number of audios: how to study, how to assess your present situation, how to make life changes, how to set new goals and objectives, how to make an action plan and a blueprint for your success. In addition to these things, you get the 12 Universal Laws of Success workbook, so that as you read the book, you can fill in the answers and it will help you retain the information. You also get a live recording of a seminar on the 12 Universal Laws of Success that you can listen to, and it will be just like you're there. There's also a wealth building and trying times audio to help you have more money at the end of the month. The audio on the law of command will help you use your power of speech to create the world exactly the way you want it to be. And the 12 affirmations to live by poster so that you can reprogram your mind, reprogram your thoughts to be exactly what they need to be to create success. And how much does it cost? Over $250 in bonuses for $77. That's $77 for you to help you achieve health, wealth, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money. Always knowing that the best is yet to come. That's right, $77 to help you create the new you in this new year. Go to our website, www.herbertharris.info, to learn more and buy now. www.herbertharris.info. Thank you.